for Shane Warne. He's done it.
We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we meet today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aussies Abroad on the B Sample Sports Network. It's great to have you guys here again this week, episode number 2. Very nice to have you guys back. Ness, welcome back to the show. And mate,
hey guys.
Bo's here too. Bo, thanks for coming back, mate. How was your week?
Yeah, no worries, man. Good to be back. Thank you. Week was good. Week was real good work-wise. Lame, but all the sport that was on was actually I missed too much sport because of work. So I completely changed my whole prospect on how my fucking week was because it sucked. That's being honest. I'm sorry.
That's being honest.
The week sucked.
Now, we actually caught up yesterday for a beer, and we've now got these sensational mugs, thanks to Ness. Ness, do you want to talk us through these mugs?
Look, for when Spinksy needs his scotch for the show, he now has a lovely mug branded Aussies Abroad to do that. So, look, just a little something.
Very nice.
You're welcome.
Very nice. All right, guys, we've got a huge show lined up this week. We're going to start off with some news, but just a teaser for everyone else out there. I interviewed Michael Roeger during the week, marathon runner whose race is on the 5th of September at 6:30 a.m. our time, guys. He is the nicest guy I've interviewed in a very long time. It's well worth hanging around for about another half an hour. He'll be on the show. And just very nice to have someone very raw and authentic to talk to. So well worth it. But look, guys, at the moment, let's crack on with the news of the week. If you haven't been watching the Olympics, I'm not sure what else you were actually doing. Australia is now in love with Ariana Titmus. This girl has won gold medals in the 200 and the 400 in the last couple of days. The outpouring of emotion from her and her coach and her family and everyone else has just been unbelievable this week. Hopefully we've got the footage up on the screen of her coach acting like a 5-year-old now, which is fantastic to see.
Looks sort of like Doc Brown. I mean, he is going crazy. Oh my goodness. He's like putting on a show like Mick Jagger on the Rolling Stones.
Guys, how do you feel about this? Is she just the biggest talent that we currently have at the moment? Ness, how do you feel?
I think she is. We've had some golden girls of the past, haven't we? We've had the Susie O'Neills and Sam Rileys and, this is the next wave. This is the next generation. And I think I love most is that even today watching the race, she was well and truly out of that. And then Thorpe says, she needs to motor here. And it's like she heard him and off she took and she touches first. So we're all in love with her. We're probably as in love with the coach as we are with her. And what a reaction. It was a bit Laurie Lawrence-like in 1988. But her dad today, I mentioned to you guys earlier, her dad today, the interview with him afterwards, just the passion that he has. And, if the Olympic spirit is dead, then these two are showing that it actually is not at all. So super love for her. And, she's just a true legend, very humble as well.
Yeah, there's been so much to look forward to all week, especially in the water. And I'm sure Bo will touch on that later with his good, the bad, and the ugly. But look, at the moment, let's move on. The rugby in New Zealand, Australia's heading over to New Zealand next week for the first of the rugby union test matches against New Zealand. Of course, we hate playing at Eden Park. I think we've won there. Our last time was in 1986, which is a long, long time ago. And we seem to change coaches all the time. And the new Australian Wallabies coach has brought back Quade Cooper after all these years in exile. He's come back. I think we're getting very desperate. There's not a lot more I want to sort of say on this. Usually we have one match here, a match there, match here, match there. But because of COVID, I think all the matches will be in New Zealand, and it looks like we're in for a pasting. So the more I can sort of skip over this, the easier it is. But look, welcome back, Quade Cooper. Now, the Matildas, back on the Olympics, the Matildas went down 2-1 to New Zealand. They beat New Zealand 2-1. They went down 4-2 to Sweden after being up 2-1 at halftime, and they've now drawn with the USA. So that means the Matildas will go through to the quarterfinals and play Great Britain. Great work from the girls here. Guys, are the Matildas the team that we need to support? Soon the swimming will be over, and we're going to need a good football team to support. The Olyroos are doing well, but the Matildas, I think they're the team we all love. So are they the ones that we need to be on more now?
Yeah, absolutely, I think. And I've just found I've got a little superstar crush. So watching them against the USA, I've developed a crush I can't control for Ellie Carpenter. So that's one of the best things I took out of it. It was a great game to watch for a 0-0 game, but I accidentally fell in love at the same time. So
have you told your missus yet?
I value my life, so I'm just keeping that one to myself right now.
And correct me wrong, but isn't Ellie from Canberra?
Yes, she was. Yeah, she played, I think, 3 years here.
Don't mention that, man. You're in trouble.
No, she's got a partner, so that's safe. It's just I'm allowed a little crush, a little celebrity crush. I say allowed, but I'm still hiding that. So
yeah, we'll hide that.
Take that with a grain of salt.
Very nice. Yeah, it's good to see the girls doing so well. So they're the team that you want us to support over the next couple of weeks. 2 or 3 games left with the girls. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the girls are going in the right direction. Now, this is a sport that we all love. Former Rabbitoh and now Philadelphia Eagle left tackle Jordan Mailata looks set to make a hell of a lot of money in 2022. This season, he looks set to start at left tackle to protect newly drafted quarterback Jalen Hurts. The new head coach, Nick Sirianni, loves him. I don't rate the Eagles at all as a football team. They are trash because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm sure you guys have got a lot to say on this. Bo, how do you feel about him being the new $100 million man?
Right, like I was saying just off camera before we started, I think $100 million is, I'm assuming, probably 5-year contracts of 20 mil per, which is the going rate for an elite left tackle. And elite left tackles are harder to find than almost any position, even including the quarterback position. So I get the article saying he's looking for the $100 million contract. That's the going rate for an elite guy. But elite guys are these guys that have played that left tackle position ever since they're like 7 years old, where it's a bit harder for him, although a freak of an athlete, and I'm sure he's done a great job at the position. I think it's unrealistic for him to be fighting for that kind of money. If he does want that money, for me, I would say maybe try and take a shorter contract, 2-3 year contract, probably less money, and then prove that you can be that elite guy, that if that's what he thinks he is. So
yeah, I watched him a few times last year against us, and I found his size, he's absolutely huge, and that helps him. But I think he's strong with his hands, but if you get around him, he's stuffed. He can't get to you. Whereas, as you said, those elite guys, they will come after you time after time after time. If you get past them, they will turn and still chase you, whereas he can't do that. He's not physically gifted enough to do that. So
yeah, and that division he's in has some elite pass rushers, so he's going to be coming up against some good guys to test himself. So
yeah,
good luck to him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Look, watch this space. The NFL starts, of course, in about 3 or 4 weeks. Very excited. There'll be some very early Monday mornings over here for us, I'm sure.
Yes, they will.
A few more things I want to touch on with the news, guys. The rowing, we've won gold in the men's and the women's fours. They call it the Coxless fours. I'm still trying to work out why they actually do that, but it's very nice to see the Aussies win gold in both of those events. Ness, have you got a take for us on the rowing?
I sort of caught a little bit of it today, and there was I think this is the second one I saw. The men's, there was a somewhat collision, which was a little bit controversial, but yeah, look, the Italians have been right up there as well. I didn't know the Italians could row. Italians are also swimming really well. So interesting, but no, look, really good for success in the rowing races for our Aussies. They're really killing it over there. So it was, and look, they didn't have a lot of support, but they did have a few Aussies on the sideline going crazy. I think they were trying to compete with Boxall and his reaction at the pool the other day. But yeah, good to see. I'm not much of a rower. I don't know much about rowing actually, but I've kind of found myself watching random sports, the Olympics. Rowing has been one of them. But
which is the best thing about the Olympics, isn't it? You just find yourself get so into just something you never thought that you'd have a genuine interest in.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got news in. The Opals have lost this afternoon to Belgium, I believe. Liz Cambage or Cambridge not being there has really hurt the girls. They shouldn't have lost to someone as ordinary as Belgium. And the men's have had a win over Italy in the last few minutes. So that's a good start for them. I think that's what their second game, was it? Didn't they beat someone else?
Yeah, that's the second game.
The second game. So that's a good start for them. The girls, not so much. She's obviously missed, whereas the boys don't miss Ben Simmons at all. So sorry, buddy. Look, all right, guys. Look, it's time now for the interview I did with Michael Roeger last weekend. It was very nice to chat with him. So sit back and relax and enjoy this interview. Go. Righto, right. Welcome to the show, Michael Roeger. Now, mate, you are going to compete in Tokyo in the T46 marathon. First of all, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. I'm looking forward to the chat and seeing where we end up. But yeah, my fourth games in Tokyo. I feel a bit like a veteran sitting here talking to you now.
As you said, your fourth games. How is this one different? Like, there's so much else going on with COVID at the moment. How is this different to the other ones that you've sort of gone through?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm in a totally different mindset from when I was a 20-year-old competing in 2008, the Beijing Paralympics, to now in Tokyo. I guess for me now, it's more all business. I'm going there to win and try and, better my result in Rio, where I come third. And of course, then we've got, the world dealing with COVID, so it's totally different. But I think, growing up as a young fella going to your first Paralympic Games, it was so overwhelming and you were just excited to be there. Yeah. Now I feel like I've got a bit more, I guess, pressure and I just need to make sure I get the result that I know I should do.
Yeah, well, as you said, you are the current world record holder. Is the pressure on you more now than it was obviously last time around?
Yeah, I guess it is going in as the world record holder. I just got to be confident in my ability. In Beijing 2008 and London 2012, I wasn't the targeted athlete. I wasn't going in as a world record holder. So I guess, there was a little bit more pressure, a little bit less pressure there. Yeah. Whereas going in now, most eyes are on me and looking at what I'm going to do in the race. So I feel a little bit more pressure, but I think I compete well under pressure.
Yeah. How's the training going at the moment? I know you were going to go up to the Gold Coast a couple of weeks back for the event. That's off now. So how are you finding it? Are you in the right form?
Yeah, I guess, to be honest, the last 6 months, I haven't missed a beat. Unfortunately, the Gold Coast Half Marathon got cancelled a few weeks ago, but over the last 18 months, we've learned to deal with cancellation of events and races. So I'm in a good headspace now, and the body is probably the best it's been for a long time. I had a serious pelvis injury last year, which put me out for a while. And today I feel mentally and physically the best I've been for a long time. So I'm hoping to race next weekend, so that'll be good just to get another road race out.
So why running? Why do this at all? As we spoke about earlier, I'm training for my first half marathon, and I find running to be stupid. So tell me why you run, mate. Why?
Mate, I know. Hey, I know why running. I could have chosen an easier sport, especially marathon running.
Yeah.
But I guess from a young age, like I always ran, whether it was chasing a footy or running around the farm with my twin brother, and I always loved it, and I felt free. And the thing about standing on the start line, it doesn't matter whether you've got one arm, one leg, your size 10 shoe, your size 5 shoe, we're all equal, and that's a really cool feeling. And I think, I wanted to be the best at something when I was a kid. And when that was an AFL, I knew that was going to be running. And it's always been the dream to stand on top of the podium and hopefully sing the national anthem.
Very nice, mate. Now, as you said, you are a huge AFL fan. Power or Crows?
Oh, come on, mate. Come on. Don't talk about power. I'm an Adelaide Crows fan. Adelaide Crows fan. I've even got a footy here, but yeah, the Crows all the way.
The Crows
it's
all the
funny
way.
when you're in when you're in like a two-horse state where it's either Adelaide or Port Adelaide, and Crows. I grew up with the Crows, and the likes of Tony Modger and Andrew McLeod.
Beautiful. So very nice. Look, mate, any rituals that you have before a race? As we spoke about earlier, do you wear the same undies every race? Do you eat certain food? Like, what do you do on race day itself?
Yeah, that's changed over the years. Hey, like I remember when I was a track runner, and I used to always have to have a brand new pair of socks every time I ran, and I always need to have a spaghetti bolognese the night before the race, and always a blueberry muffin and a long black before my race.
Very nice.
But as I'm into the marathons and getting older, I don't have too many superstitions. I always put my right shoe on first, and that's probably about it. But in terms of food, I mean, running a marathon, 3 days before a marathon, I do a high carb, low residue diet. So I'm eating so many carbs, and it's almost uncomfortable actually, because my dietitian, puts so much carbs into me, and I get to the start line and I'm heavier. But that's so, throughout the marathon, I'm going to burn all this fuel off.
There you go. Very nice. Now, mate, a little birdie tells me, and our producer was going to help me out with this. So when this show actually comes, this interview goes on the show, there'll be all kinds of images up on the screen. But a birdie tells me,
don't embarrass me, mate.
Involved in Fashion Week, mate. You were involved in Australian Fashion Week a couple of weeks ago. Do you want to tell me about this?
Yeah, I was. It was it come out of sort of the blue, and I got invited by IMG Models to go to Fashion Week and do the closing show, which I was pretty nervous for. Hey, like I had to do 3 runway walks, and it was nerve wracking. And I was out the back with all these professional models and stuff, and they were geeing each other up, and there were some guys out the back doing like push ups and stuff, and I'm just sitting there going, man, I'm this scrawny little marathon runner, But,
I'm a runner.
But that was a bit of fun. So I enjoyed it. Hey, like the experience, and I was pretty pumped for it, and like like we're talking about, I like that sort of pressure cooker situation, and for me that was like out of my comfort zone. And it's it's nice to be out of your comfort zone, I reckon, every now and then.
Sure is. As we spoke about earlier, I'm training for my first half marathon, which will be the end of next month, and the two of us train around the same area out here around the AIS. And the last couple of months, there've been a lot more athletes around, obviously with the games at the moment coming up, and there's been a few times when I've been running my hardest as I can, and I've been overtaken by a bunch of speed walkers. Okay.
Oh, come on, mate.
That is demoralizing for me, right? I'm probably about 10 Ks in, and I'm struggling, and I just want to get to the end, and speed walkers have walked past me going very quick. Yeah. Am I allowed to push them over?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much. Very good.
It's quite funny. I used to live with a race walker for many years, and they're actually quite phenomenal. And I've heard other people say, they're like,
it's unbelievable.
What these guys, these race walkers are overtaking me, and I'm running.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it's
not fair.
It's probably a bit like a feeling like I always love running like up a slight hill, and there's a cyclist, and they like struggle up the hill, then I like fly past it. I always try and chase them down, but it's a bit like that. Yeah.
Exactly. I felt very upset, and there was I think there was about 4 or 5 of them together, and I thought I'm just going to go home. I'm done.
Yeah. That's when you put your head down, your tail's between your legs, and you go home, man.
Yeah, I was very, very upset, mate. Yeah, very upset. Now, look, mate, one of the final things I wanted to talk to you about is we've got something that has been dividing our friendship group for years and years and years, right? The thing is, do you keep your tomato sauce in the cupboard or the fridge?
Mate, in the cupboard.
No, that is the wrong answer.
In the cupboard.
Oh, my God.
In the cupboard.
No.
In the cupboard. It's like do you have pineapple on your pizza or not?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, see, I do.
Oh, no.
Look,
Hey,
what are we going to agree on?
We're done. We're done here. So I've got 2.
What about? Well, I've got one for you. What about chocolate in the cupboard or fridge?
The fridge. The fridge.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cool. Well, let's,
we'll give you that one, right?
we can
We'll get that one
continue.
back.
Yeah.
Very nice. We can continue. Very good. So that has divided our friendship group for years and years and years. And everyone's got an opinion on the right way, and the right way is the fridge, right? So you're wrong.
Yeah. All right. I'm going home. When I go home, when I leave this altitude house I'm in, I'm going home to put the tomato sauce in the fridge.
Beautiful. Very nice. Look, mate, thank you very much for coming on the show. Now your race is on the 5th of September. I'll be getting everyone we know to tune in. When do you leave?
Yeah, thanks, man. And I appreciate that. So, yeah, the 5th of September is my race. It's the marathon, so it's a Sunday. And I'm pretty sure it starts like at 6:30 in the morning. So, and I'll be live on 7. So, so I head to Townsville on this Wednesday. So, in Townsville for 10 days. I'll race a half marathon this weekend. And then from the 7th of August, I'll be based in Cairns and leave Australia on the 31st of August and arrive in Tokyo on the 1st of September. And 4 days before my race, and then hopefully can sit back here in another 5-6 weeks and talk to you with hopefully a gold medal around my neck.
That's exactly what we want, mate. Exactly. Very nice. Well, mate, thank you very much for coming on the show, mate. Cheers.
Appreciate the support, mate.
Right, guys, as you can see, Michael Roeger is a gentleman and a scholar. Be sure to tune into his race on the 5th of September at 6:30 a.m. I will remind you guys every single week. That is week 1 of college football 2, and we'll talk about that week, I'm sure. So, look, guys, now it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. The things we saw this week, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Mr. Bo, would you like to go first?
Yeah, mate, I'll start us off. For me, my good is just it's a good week for me for women in sport, I think, which it sounds kind of harsh coming out, but the truth is that they haven't got the respect what they've deserved for a long time. And I think now's its best time as it's ever been for them. And just in the Olympics, it's just really showing how strong our women are. So I think all our gold medals are from women at this moment in the Olympics, and dominating across the whole country. So I think women are we've won about half the amount of women, hopefully that can get edited out. Women have totaled, they've got about half the tally for our medals. So for that week is just a great week for women in sports. So that's my good. They've been killing it. Keep going, girls. The bad is Australia and New Zealand withdrawing from the Rugby League World Cup. Sucks for rugby league, sucks for rugby league fans. And just makes the competition, although the competition is going to maybe now be closer, taking those 2 teams out. There's a lot of talent, a lot of rugby league talent that are now missing out. So sucks, but that's I can't say it's the wrong thing to do to withdraw from that for safety precautions. And the ugly, kind of touching back on rugby league again, is James Roberts has been found not abiding by NRL protocols around the COVID protocols. He's been filmed just catching a suntan, which isn't that bad a thing to do, but it's caused enough controversy that it's just another thing that's getting the rugby league season closer to not being played. So
was that because he was on the balcony?
It was only because he was on the balcony. There's no one else around him, but he was aware of the protocols and what he could and couldn't do, and has just chosen to not abide by them. So I've read a couple of things into it, and apparently he's just not been smooth the sky with abiding by what we've got to do to keep everyone safe and healthy. And it's just a bad look for rugby league. And if it's something just silly like that, what ends up stopping the competition, there's too many people that miss out on that. So it's just, as a rugby league fan, it hurts.
Do you think the Rugby League World Cup still goes ahead? I'm hearing a lot of guys are starting to remember they're actually Italian or French, and they're sort of maybe trying to leave Australia to go be with Italy and France, changing their countries. Do you think
Turbo's trying to go for Serbia, isn't he?
Yeah, go to Serbia,
and Pappenhausen, and they'll go. Tedesco can play for Italy.
That's cool.
I'd still like to see it happen, but do you think it actually happens? And are these teams going to help them grow more without the two powerhouses there who are just going to beat everyone anyway?
Well, I think absolutely, because Samoa and PNG are very talented teams at the moment, so that's underrated what they can do on the what they'll be able to do on the World Cup stage anyway. So kind of just means we get to, as a fan, we get to focus more on that, and that's not necessarily that bad a thing. It's still, we're going to get quality, entertaining rugby league. It's just, as an Australian, it sucks to not see us there.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice, mate. Very good three. All right, Ness, I'll let you go next. You good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you got for us?
Look, like we touched on earlier, we've been watching some really interesting sports, and I think some of the more obscure ones have actually provided the most entertainment. So I am so on board with the canoe slalom, and so much so that I know the track, and I like call out like I should turn left and right, like I actually know what I'm talking about, and I don't. But I'm Bo's little crush on Ellie Carpenter. I've got one on Dan Watkins, so he's placed top 10. And they're calling him the Brad Pitt of the canoe world. So, I mean, it's been easy to watch that for various reasons, I suppose. But a good placing for the Aussies. So that's my good for this week. A sport I knew nothing about and have found myself loving, and there's a pretty hot guy doing it. So that's good. The bad, and I hate saying bad because I really like Ash Barty, but I think it hasn't been a great outcome for her, following on from the amazing victory that she had at Wimbledon. Hot off that, she's crashed out in the singles, she's crashed out in the doubles today. That was another disappointing loss, and now she looks to the mixed. And look, is she fatigued? Probably. Is she under an injury cloud? Possibly. We do know that she's not staying in the Olympic Village, so she has actually been staying outside of the village on her own. I think that's just sort of Ash, and she's pretty focused on winning and performance. So I don't think she'd be happy with all of this. And I guess as Aussies, we've come to expect someone wins a Wimbledon tournament and off they go for the rest. So we're probably a bit disappointed. So hard to say bad, but I guess she hasn't played well. So she's my bad pick this week.
Right.
Thoughts on that, boys?
Yes, I actually do. I got sucked into the Sam Stosur thing every time Sam Stosur was caught. I was like, Sam, you have the talent to do it, and she failed me every time. So, and Ash is doing so well lately with everything, with the Australian Open, with Wimbledon, with everything else. I think maybe is she just tired? Is it just been too much? I think Wimbledon was only like 4 weeks ago. Is it just been too much? And maybe she just does need to rest. And to win a gold medal is a nice thing, but it's also not worth the millions of dollars you're going to get by winning the US Open or your Wimbledon. Or is she not into it as much as she probably should be? Maybe.
Is it just me? I haven't watched that much Ash Barty play, but does she kind of have this in her game too, where she can lose when she's a favourite? I mean, everyone can lose.
Not as much as Sam Stosur.
I haven't watched. Yeah, well.
Sorry, Sam.
Yeah, smash. I don't know. I don't know much. I guess I haven't watched too much of her. I mean, it's probably been a big road for her over the last little bit. Throwing COVID and traveling and the highs and lows of Wimbledon, and that immense pressure. And we all probably have put that pressure on her. And she's probably put it on herself. So let's see. Let's hope she bounces back and gets the victory in the mixed. So that starts tomorrow. So fingers crossed for Ash.
Who have you got? this
Oh,
week?
the ugly.
Yeah.
The ugly. I know this is an Aussies abroad show, but we cannot miss this point about how bad the Italians, who claim to be stylish, what was their opening ceremony uniform? It was like half Pac-Man or Pac-Man meets pizza. It was weird. It was ugly. And I think to that point, the Opals don't look terrific. So their uniforms are pretty ugly. But I think overall, Aussies are looking good. So,
Yeah,
it's not just about the performance. We need to look good too, right?
if we could get
Look good,
that
play good.
on the screen, that'd be nice. Yeah, I happened to see one of the I think it was the Belgium triathletes. They wore a white like skin suit, and every time it got wet, it was totally see through. Which that works.
Yeah. I mean, on a serious note to it, it is pretty ugly, some of the controversy around, uniforms, and there's been so much controversy over some of the females coming out voicing, racism and sexism and all sorts of things relating to what they can and can't wear. And yeah, some of that, I guess, is the negative part of sport that we don't love to see. And I guess for me personally, would like to see a bit less of that and a bit more just concentrating on the sport. But it's the age we live in, isn't it? Yeah.
That's what we're there. Look, all right, guys, my turn. The good I had this week was the effort from the Olyroos. I think to be part of the Olympics for the Socceroos, you need to be under the age of 23 and haven't been signed by a major team for more than 2 or 3 years. I think that's how the scope sort of works. They've had 2 games so far. That they had a huge win in their opener, and they had a very tough loss to Spain. They kick off tonight at 9 o'clock in their final game against Egypt. A draw will be enough to see them go through. A loss will probably be enough as well on the for and against, but they should finish second in their group. So huge effort from a team which no one thought would win any games at all. So this is a very nice thing. The bad is in softball. There is a rule in softball. If you're getting beaten by more than 7 points, they call the mercy flag and they wave the white flag, and you have to come back in. The Aussie girls have had that done on them twice in 4 games, twice. And now I'm not a big softball man, so I can't say for sure what's going on. All I'm looking at is the results, and it's bad. They have to wave the white flag for you twice. Once against the US, I think, and once against Japan, maybe, who are apparently a very good side. So
you'd assume 2 of the top sides.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's hard, but I still see you need to stick in more effort than getting your white flag waved on you halfway through a game. You've tried your hardest to get there, and you need to try a little bit harder, I think, maybe, to be there.
It's a rough rule, though. Don't you think it's a really rough rule? Like, go all the way to the Olympics.
It's better than getting beaten by 50. So, I don't know.
It's ugly, none matter.
And the ugly is that the ugly I've got is kind of a bit strange. I noticed something in the opening ceremony, and I was hoping our Canadian friend was here tonight, but he's not. During the opening ceremony, someone from CDC, which I presume is like the Canadian broadcasting show, came out and said how happy she was that Australia had 2 women carrying the flag. And as we know, we had Kate Campbell and we had Aussie basketballer Paddy Mills wearing his mask, so we could get a photo up on the screen of Paddy wearing his mask. And yes, I understand his name is Patty, Patty, so maybe she just saw it, but she obviously doesn't know basketball at all. So for her to say that Paddy was a girl is a bit upsetting for Paddy. So, and I thought it was crazy.
He's one of the nicest humans in the world, and that's
he's a Canberra boy too, isn't he?
He is actually.
Yeah.
Canberra. Yeah. See, us Canberrans kicking ass on the world stage. So
absolutely,
very nice. Yeah. So all the best to Paddy and the Boomers as they try to win a medal this year. While the USA are absolutely trash. So look, while we spoke about the medals, currently we have 6 gold medals, 1 silver, and 9 bronze. Yes, for a total of 16. The girls are kicking ass in the swimming. They're doing fantastic. I believe the rowers are doing well too. We had a bronze medal in the surfing overnight when we were at the pub yesterday. We saw that one. And I think we've had one in the shooting now as well. So it was starting to sort of attract the events that we usually win in, which is nice. But the swimming will be over soon, and we're coming into the track and field side of it, and that's where we tend to get a bit left back, I think. So hopefully the team sports will keep us going a bit more, but it looks like the next week or so might be a bit down for the Aussies because they're not as fast as we can swim. So that's good. Yes.
That surfing medal was awesome, Spinks. So Owen Wright had a massive brain injury about 2015, I think it was, and came out and said he had to teach himself how to walk and talk and do all sorts of things again. So coming out and getting that medal, like phenomenal achievement. It's that's the kind of sort of pride that we all, you'll take out of that, don't you? Just amazing to see. Great visuals.
It's stories like that which just come out of the Olympics, which are just phenomenal. You really hear some amazing stories around the globe about people and how they've got there, and everyone has their own interesting stories in the Olympics here, obviously. But some of them that have faced even more difficult challenges. It's so cool to hear about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very nice. Guys, look, there's just one final thing. Just make sure whatever you guys are doing this weekend, you're doing it safely. For our fans in Sydney, whatever you're doing, stay home, do the right thing, stay safe, look after your friends, reach out to your family. There's heaps of Olympics on, heaps of sport, rugby league, AFL. You can sit at home all weekend and watch sport if you want to. Tomorrow, I have to sit in a chair for 10 hours and get tattooed. The least you can do is stay home and look after your friends and family, okay? So pray for me, because I'll be the one getting hurt.
I'll be thinking of you, mate.
I'll show you some results next week, maybe, if I recover. So from me and you guys, stay safe out there. Hooroo, and we'll catch you all next week. See you guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, done.
For Shane Warne.